stretching if it's available. Inhale our arms out and up, and exhale, hinging at our waist, folding forward, releasing our front body and our forehead to the mat. Really letting the weight of our body open our back here. Extending with our arms, creating space in between each of those vertebrae. Your next inhale, walking our hands over to the left side and releasing our forehead once more if that is available. For a little deeper stretch, you can place your right hand on top of your left, breathing into that side body, creating space. With our next inhale, walk your hands back to neutral and then over to the right side, releasing our chest and forehead. And again, you can place your left hand on your right hand for a deeper stretch. Creating space, getting a nice stretch on those intercostal muscles. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, walk your hands back to neutral again and give a nice extension here in the arms and releasing that torso. And with our next inhale, coming up to all fours, placing our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulder. We're going to move through some cat-cow asanas. Inhale, dropping our belly, reaching with our crown and our sacrum. And with our exhale, we're going to round and our spine, pressing away from the mat. Next inhale, shining our torso to the front. Crown reaches, sacrum reaches. Exhale, rounding in our spine. One more time. Inhale. Arching our back. And exhale, rounding our back. Inhale, come back to neutral. Let's curl our toes under and press back to our first down dog of the day. Pressing into our heels, perhaps pressing into our right, raising our left, grounding down. Nice stretching action here. And then with our next breath, pressing into our left heel and raising our right. Pressing into both of our heels now. We're creating a cupping action with our fingertips that relieves some of the pressure on our wrist if we have wrist issues. And we're reaching with our sacrum up to the sky, engaging our core, pulling that navel back into the spine and lifting our pelvic floor, engaging our quads and letting our head hang heavy, really looking for our navel here, creating basically an upside down V. Lots of engagement here. Okay, inhale, coming up to our toes, dropping those heels back down. Let's take some little baby steps up to meet our hands at the top of our mat. And then gently releasing our front torso over our thighs. Generous bend in our knees. Perhaps grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe a gentle sway. Whatever serves you this morning. Letting our head hang heavy. Creating space in our first forward fold. Maybe shake your head yes or no. And then with our next inhale, let's place our hands on our thighs. Begin to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Chin still tucked. And opening that last. Coming into our first mountain pose. Inhale, our arms out and up. And exhale into heart center. Inhale our arms out and up. And this time, let's release our hands down behind us, interlacing our fingers and bringing our shoulders up and down the back part of our back. Standing tall, hinging at our hips now, we're going to start to release over our front thighs and raising our arms up behind us. You can still have that generous bend in your knees if you need that here. And with an inhale, let's release our hands down to the mat next to framing our feet, and then step back with our left foot and with our right coming into a plank position. Gaze is just off of our mat. Firm engagement, pulling that navel back into your spine, gauging those quads. Let's inhale, dropping our knees down, and then starting to sit back on our heels and releasing our front body and our forehead to our mat, coming into puppy posture. We're going to do this a few more times. So with our inhale, we're going to come into our plank position. And with our exhale, we're going to drop our knees and bringing our hips over our heels, releasing our forehead to our mat. One more time. Inhale, coming up to a plank. And exhale, dropping our knees, sitting back, releasing our front body and forehead. And with our next inhale, we're going to come into the plank position again, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lots of active engagement. And then we're going to start to lower down to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing our body to the floor, releasing the tops of our feet. We're going to bring our elbows underneath our shoulders, palms facing down, gazes forward into a nice Sphinx here. Nice, gentle back bend. And with our next inhale, let's make a pillow with our hands, lowering our left ear to our mat, gazes to the right. And we're going to come into a baby cobra next. So let's inhale, bringing our palms underneath our shoulders and start to engage our back, raising our torso off of the ground. Feet are still flat on the mat, gazes forward, no pressure in our palms. And now lowering down, make a pillow, gazes to the right, or left rather, and right ear is on our hands. Next, we're going to come into King Cobra, so you can move your feet out a little wider, but no further than your mat. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders once more. Inhale, we rise up, pressing into our palms. Pelvis stays on our mat, and feet are on our mat as well. Shoulders are away from our ears. And we're going to lower down, making a pillow, gazes to the right. With our next inhale, placing our hands underneath our shoulders, curling our toes under, we're going to press up to plank. And from here, back into down dog.